These were the laws of this land for 65,000 years. In less than 230 years, the first Australians have been reduced to the most disadvantaged Australians, colonised by the British in 1788. Our peoples were almost wiped from the face of the earth by a brutal rolling frontier over more than a century of sustained warfare that ended only in the 20th century, and also by diseases introduced by the British: smallpox, measles and influenza, to name three. As a descendant of the Yuman people who were massacred in the hundreds over decades of conflict, raised in Queensland under racist laws, and now in my 70s, it is clear to me that the winds of change blowing across our continent now are our last hope of surviving as the first peoples with any of our laws, cultures and languages intact. We were totally excluded from the Constitution that came into effect in 1901 by specific clauses that cast our diverse peoples as a race. With more than 200 languages, more often described as 600 language varieties, our own laws, traditions, customs, we are peoples, not a race.
Give us our land back. Give us what you stole from us. Our bones, our skulls, our babies, our people. You destroyed our land. Give us a genocide. This is not your land. This is not your land. You are not my kids. You are not our kids.
We'll continue to resist the colony until we have a peacemaking treaty where we can celebrate this country together. We don't need a king from another country to dictate to us what we do here.
The embrace was warm, but the subject matter contentious.
I'm starting generation Kiramundra, but I won't have. I'll give you a shake. How are you? Okay. Welcome to this country.
In Sydney's heartland of black activism, Redfern, King Charles visited the National Centre for Indigenous Excellence.
We've got stories to tell, and I think you witnessed that story yesterday.
Give us what you stole from us.
It was this protest from the Gunai Gunditjmara and Djabwurrung Senator Lydia Thorpe that made global headlines. Professor Calma was in the room when it happened.
It alienates people more than draws them in. So the messages that she wants to get across aren't actually heard by the majority population.
The senator today defended her actions.
I've written to the King a number of times. He's ignored me every time.
The opposition leader suggested resignation.
I think there's a very strong argument for somebody who doesn't believe in the system but's willing to take $250,000 a year from the system to resign in principle.
While the former Minister for Indigenous Australians disagrees with Peter Dutton, he was disappointed.
I think it's inappropriate. Whilst Lydia may have points to make, there is also respect that has to be given, as we expect respect to be given to us.
On Redfern streets, the views were mixed.
Power to my sister, power to my sister.
That's the wrong place at the wrong time.
Hopefully it's opened up ears and eyes. The way she did it is her way.
Opposition to the King's visit was expressed symbolically and overtly.
You don't win! You're criminals!
During his first visit as head of state, the King has heard strong pleas to address our colonial history and support Indigenous aspirations. The next steps will be closely watched. Tani Jash, ABC News.
Why is Lydia Thorpe such a race baiter? Why does this independent senator mock our parliament, demand Aboriginal sovereignty, celebrate an arson attack on our old Parliament House and tell Aborigines they are at war with whites?
This is a war! They are still killing us! They are still stealing our babies! They are killing our men! And they are still raping our women!
is this angry race baiter who racially abused white men at a strip club in Melbourne last week after telling them they'd stolen her land?
You know what I say? You know what I say to you? Shut up. You know what I say to you? And you?
You're a racist
penis.
dog.
Oh, penis. All I want to say to the black brothers there, and anyone that we're fighting, any black man that stands with a white little like that, you can all get too.
Thorpe today said she was just defending herself from racists there and accused Prime Minister Anthony Albanese of being a racist too for saying she needed help for health issues. But even Thorpe herself seems at times puzzled by people's reaction to her.
What kind of person do you think I am?
Let's answer that. One of the people who knows best what kind of person Thorpe is and why she behaves as she does as her father, Roy Illingworth, who joins me now. Roy Illingworth, thank you so much for joining me. Your daughter asked in the Senate the other day, what kind of person do you think I am? Well, can you answer that for us?
Yeah, that's a hard one. Well, the way I see it, the way she is and the way she's changed over the years is that I think she's a very racist person against white people, and she doesn't acknowledge any of her white side. So, yeah, I'm a bit disappointed in her, the way she's been carrying on lately, because after all, she has got English background as well as Irish, the convict side of the English. So, yeah, the way she's carrying on, I don't know, she's been probably used by someone or some people, but normally she never used to be like that. Maybe it's the power going to her head too, not sure. But you know, she's still my daughter, I still love her.
Yeah, but you mentioned the racism business, and at that strip club last Sunday morning, for instance, she said she called someone a white C word, a little dog, and said we, meaning apparently Aborigines and her, have been oppressed all our effing life in this country as well. Now, you're white, you're her father. When she says she was oppressed all her life, is that how you remember it?
Yeah, no, there's no way she was. She was spoilt. In my era, with all the elders and everything back then, she was the first kind of born among, you know, all the cousins and everything, so she was really spoilt. She never went without anything growing up. I was in rented houses, wasn't in commission houses. We rented houses, so she was just spoilt. She got everything she wanted, and she knows that too. So, you know, and most of the city people there, they've grown up pretty comfortably. They've been all right. Yeah, so no, she's not right there. So, and now she's even more privileged now. So the position she's in.
When is it, Roy, that your daughter first became politicised as, you know, sort of like a political Aborigine, as it were, and, you know, not someone of white and English and Irish and Aboriginal ancestry, but just Aboriginal? When was that?
Would have been when she was probably 16, 17. The first kind of, once you stopped the pipeline from going through now an hour, they were going to go across the creek or the river there, and she stopped that, so they had to divert around it. That was basically the start of it all. And then from then on, she was just, you know, with the greenies and stuff like that. And it's probably, I know since she's been running for a politician, that she's more kind of turned racist. She's never ever mentioned anything about me in all her speeches or anything like that. Never mentioned anything about her white father, which, you know, sometimes disappoints me a bit, because I know when she was younger and little, she was never like that. But,
well, she did post on social media once that you were racist, so I guess it's you know, going both ways at the moment. Now, it's no secret that you are estranged from your daughter. Can I ask why that is? Don't answer if it's too personal.
Well, probably because I moved away too from her, and I don't know, towards the end I didn't trust her. She said a lot of bad and evil things to me over the years, and I just kind of, just fell out, and I fell out away from her. She never acknowledged her brother, her only brother, because he's white, her other sister. And I know the elders, when I grew up back then, we were younger, they wouldn't be liking all this neither.
But it's interesting, maybe I'm being, an amateur Freud or something, I don't know. But the fact that she doesn't acknowledge her white heritage and is so angry at authority, is this got anything, do you think there's sort of like daddy issues at play here? Is this aimed at you in any way?
No, no, it's nothing to do with that. It'd be just someone that's in her ear, and she's gone that way as an activist, and that's just the way. Yeah, it's the way she's gone. There's nothing to do with me. Like I know she tells me she loves me and stuff like that. So you can't tell someone you love them and then bag them or come out with racist stuff like that. So, yeah.
And Roy, just lastly, Lydia Thorpe says she's against the voice, but only because it's in the wrong sequence, right? She wants sovereignty, Aboriginal sovereignty and a treaty, different nations, divided by race, and then perhaps a voice, like, almost like a parliament, I guess, of a new, I don't know. But that's what she wants. How do you feel about that project where she would be saying, as your daughter, that she has more political rights and sovereignty and everything like that than you do?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can't understand that. I don't really get it right into that part of it, but yeah, I know what you're saying. But I don't know. That's just coming from other people from it. That's guiding her through all this, I reckon. She's that bad that she's bringing her own kids up to hate the country they live in. The only time I see them, I got great granddaughters, and the only time I seen them was she had a protest there, and I was standing on each side of her. That's the first time I've seen them.
That was a protest in Melbourne this year. Yeah.
She had her daughter, and which was my granddaughter, and then each side of her she had my grandkids. Yeah, I've never really seen them.
Well, that's sad. Families are tricky, and no doubt there's two sides to a story. But Roy Illingworth, it's not nice for a father to be estranged from their daughter, and for their daughter to carry on like a pork chop as well, I guess. Makes it even harder. Thank you so much indeed for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you.